Welcome to the Unsleever. Today's video is about soundtracks. I will show you some classics from my collection, both new and old, alongside some others that I have selected just because I love them, and of course I will be showing you vinyl editions for all of them. If you like videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. The first one on my list is Blue Velvet, a classic film by David Lynch. The soundtrack by Angelo Badalamenti became a classic in its own right, by being a great enhancer of the movie's mood and atmosphere. This vinyl edition came out in 2017. It's very simple, but this pressing in split black and blue is really beautiful. Unfortunately, the sound isn't great, it sounds a bit muffled, and my copy has surface noise and pops throughout. Now it's dark. Next up, another classic, Dirty Dancing. This edition was released by Mondo in 2022 for the 35th anniversary of the film, and it does not disappoint one bit. The packaging is gorgeous with newly designed artwork, an obby strip, and an extra disc with bonus songs. One cool detail about it is that they only pressed 1,987 copies to commemorate the year it was released. The pressing itself looks gorgeous, and thankfully the sound quality lives up to the looks. It is super quiet and very well mastered. A must-have because nobody puts Baby in a corner. Notting Hill was a huge success, and it gave Ronan Keating from Boyzone a big hit with When You Say Nothing at All, which would play all the time on MTV. I was such a huge Julia Roberts fan growing up, and I loved this movie and soundtrack so much. This edition was issued by Music on Vinyl in 2019 for the 20th anniversary. The pressing is lovely, very quiet, and with great dynamics. I love many tracks here, but my absolute favorite is Elvis Costello's She. Aren't we all just a girl standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her? This one might be a bit less known unless you're a fan of hip-hop and R&B, but Set It Off was one of my favorite movies growing up, and its accompanying soundtrack is one of the best from the 90s. It includes the massive hit by En Vogue, Don't Let Go Love, and a collaboration between Brandy, Tamia, Chaka Khan, and Gladys Knight, and songs by Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, Busta Rhymes, and Queen Latifah, who also stars in the movie. This is the original pressing, and the sound is okay, nothing too bad, but it could definitely sound better. If you're a vinyl collector, you may agree with Vivica A. Fox's character, as the only way we're gonna see cash is if we take a bank. If you're a 90s kid like myself, you probably remember the fanfare around the first Jurassic Park movie. This is a classic John Williams soundtrack, and it has one of the most recognizable pieces of music from a movie ever. Mondo released this edition with newly designed packaging and gorgeous looking records. However, the sound doesn't live up to expectations, with surface noise and pops in many places. So sadly, Hammond, after careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. The next soundtrack on my list is for In the Mood for Love by Wong Kar-wai, who is one of my favorite directors. One particularity about this director is that his use of music is very intentional, and for the most part the soundtracks are tightly connected to the film's narrative. This edition was released in 2021 and it's gorgeous, with a numbered glossy gatefold, a poster and a booklet. It is a 1LP edition in burgundy black splatter color. The sound is excellent, with great dynamics and super quiet. It is a restless moment. On a lighter note, here is the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack, another great one from the late 90s. This is the soundtrack that gave Aaliyah a big international hit with Are You That Somebody, and it's extra special to me because that's the song that turned me into a fan. It also includes songs by Gino Wine, Montel Jordan, and All Saints. This is the original pressing that comes with a flimsy insert and 2 discs. The sound is really good despite the simple packaging though. I've only seen the movie once and it left no impression, so I'll skip a quote for this one. This is the newest soundtrack on my list. Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite directors currently, and his adaptation of Dune Part 1 is already iconic. The soundtrack by Hans Zimmer gave him his second Oscar. This edition by Mondo has incredible packaging, with this cool slipcase. It comes in a gatefold with an obby strip, inner printed sleeves, and the records in satin transparent color. My copy sounds very rich and detailed, which makes for a very immersive experience. It actually stresses me out a lot, but I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. The Hours is one of my all-time favorite movies, and this soundtrack by acclaimed composer Philip Glass is also one of my most listened to. This was finally released on vinyl for the first time in 2022. It comes in a gatefold and includes a 4-page booklet with liner notes. The pressing has pops throughout, but aside from that, it is very quiet and it sounds beautiful. This movie includes a quote that has stayed with me since my first viewing, but I can't really do it justice. Enter Mother.
I remember thinking to myself, so this is the beginning of happiness. This is where it starts. And of course, there'll always be more. Never occurred to me. It wasn't the beginning. It was happiness. It was the moment. Right then.
I have reserved the best for last. I have 2 favorite soundtracks that are always at the top no matter how many years pass. Waiting to Exhale is one of them, an absolute classic with all songs written and produced by Babyface. It features classics like Whitney's Exhale, Toni Braxton's Let It Flow, and Brandy's Sitting Up in My Room. But it doesn't end there, as it's a star-studded soundtrack with some of the best-known female singers of the 90s. This purple edition came out in 2016 and it was limited to only 1,000 copies. Sound-wise, it has great dynamics, but unfortunately it pops and clicks everywhere. It is long overdue for a reissue, and this is a must in every collection. As for the movie, I can't say much of it as I never paid too much attention to it. Maybe time for a rewatch. That's all for today's video. If you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one and let me know in the comments what are your favorite soundtracks. Thanks for watching, see you next time.